Oathmark's third supplement arrives, bringing more options to the ranked fantasy battle game. This time, the new elements added to the game are kingdom events, which are campaign occurrences, which add all manner of variables to your gaming, and special formations, which are ways to boost your units. There are lots of extras too. Let's have a deeper look. After a few pages of introduction from author Joseph A. McCullough, this 80-page full-colour softback Osprey Games publication gets to the special formations. These are ways to change up the feel of the armies you field in games by tuning your kingdom to support a particular battle specialism. The available options cover shield walls, chariot units, javelin storm, phalanx, square, and skirmish. By adding this to the already existing options from previous supplements, Oathmark becomes an even more customizable mass battle fantasy game. In fact, we'd say it's probably leading the way. Let's take a look at an example, which are fielding units capable of forming a square. This is great if you're more of a defensive player, but you'll need to get some practice fields in your kingdom to enable this customization option. With that done, you can apply square to some of your units as a special formation. In this case, only soldiers, spearmen, warriors, and line breakers can form a square, and only if their unit has at least 2 full ranks. As well as restrictions, each special formation has its points cost listed, +1 per figure for square, but up to +10 for chariot units. The relevant details of how the formation functions in-game are shown too. Next up are new units, a regular in the Oathmark expansions, and this one takes in 2 main types, animate stone and chariots. The animate stone goes from living statues, which are pretty chunky, to the Colossus, which is, well, colossal. For 350 points, you'll get an enormous army option with the capacity to deal out and take a good bit of damage. Chariots arrive for the undead in Oathbreakers, the previous supplement, but here, the other races get to join in the fun. The undead's arrival in chariots from the old empires has inspired every elf, dwarf, human, orc, and goblin to get back on wheels with their own fancy whips to ride around the battlefield. Each kingdom can pick chariots that have roughly the same function, but vary very slightly in their stats. The chariots are not cheap, nor are those animate stone options, so Oathmark's gradually growing to be a game where mighty armies can clash on the field of battle. Unfortunately, there are no signs of these new units in model form yet. That's a minor but recurring downside of the photos in Oathmark books, unfortunately. We don't get to see the cool stuff being talked about in the photos. This is almost certainly due to practicalities, such as models not being ready in time, rather than intent, but it is a shame nonetheless. We're eager to see those animate stone and chariot options. There is also some nice art throughout. We particularly like this Look Mum No Hands greenskin having a whale of a time riding his wolf. It really adds some character. On to kingdom events. These are perhaps the most intriguing new element that arrives with the expansion. At least, if the narrative elements appeal to you, that is. These give players the chance to develop their kingdoms as narratives with random events between games, and these can then impact future in-game happenings. Author Joe's love of tables and well-known admiration for the between-game elements in GW offerings like Mordheim is present in this section. First, the player rolls on the main kingdom events table after a battle, then rolls on the further table determined by that. There's a 40% chance of nothing notable happening, but that other 60% is brimming with possibilities, so try your hand. There's even the option to add a timeline to the events in your kingdom, making it feel even more worthy of note in some ancient chronicle. The types of events available are political, internal, external, natural, magical, and miscellaneous. Each of these have 10 possible happenings, so it's impossible for us to get into them all, but we'll pick some examples. Traitor is a political event and represents the discovery of, well, a traitor or spy in the kingdom. In your narrative, you can weave whatever story you desire around this, but in your next battle, you will be disadvantaged when rolling to determine the type of game you will play. Metal shortage from the internal events has your kingdom struggling to mine hard metals, and means any soldier with heavy armor costs an additional point next game. In the external events, there's request for aid, along with its lovely The Beacons Are Lit art, which has a neighbouring kingdom calling for help. If you offer aid, you will have no engineer units available in the next battle, and 10% fewer points with which to muster your army. Offsetting those disadvantages, you will receive initiative tokens to spend on rerolls and get a new territory of your choice. Nice. And so it goes on. From gopher infestations to forest fires, curses to wandering wizards, artillery innovation to goblin slaves. There's a huge number of fun ideas to experience here. Of course, it wouldn't be a JMAT book without some kind of scenarios. The military expedition section has 2 new expeditions, each consisting of 3 scenarios. The first sees opposing kingdoms battling over an ancient acropolis known as the High Seat, and its scenarios bring in the new animate stone options, and then end with a climactic battle as both armies race to reach the High Seat first. Palace of the Ice Queen sees a new power rise in the chill lands that border your kingdom. Time to put a stop to them. Here, we get 1 extra table or 2 for winter events. These impact the battle conditions and will be a new way to modify any future games you play, should you so wish. Strange events are quite basic modifiers, while catastrophic events will really mix things up. Who fancies doing battle with an opposing kingdom at the same time as dealing with a haunted whiteout, where ethereal snow creatures attack through blinding snow? Ending with an appendix of new unique territories, general spells and special abilities, there's a lot in this new supplement, and it's sure to keep your games of Oathmark increasingly varied, as well as adding to the narrative twists and turns your kingdom, its rulers, and its people experience.
This video has been brought to you by WI Prime, Wargames Illustrated magazine's online members club. View more videos or find out more about WI Prime by following these links.